Wouldn't be the first one, right?
No, it wouldn't be the first.
Okay, got it. All right, so now when it comes to our children, we as parents always or should always have their best interest at heart. But in the aim to keep them safe, sometimes, sometimes we might overstep just a little tops, I think. But there are kids, right? So you can understand why. We've got the CEO of Phoenix Counseling Center, Dr. Patrice Charles, here to tell us when we cross the line, when we don't cross the line, when we should protect, when we are overprotecting. Good morning to you. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since the New Year's. Yes. All the very best to you. What generally do you have to say to the parents this morning before we delve into this topic? I hear about helicopter parenting and plane parenting and boat and ship and all the rest of it. Poor parents in this day and age, Patrice, God help us.
It's so confusing, right?
It is very confusing.
First you hear parents are being accused of neglecting their children, not getting too involved. And you hear the Parenting Commission saying, listen, we want you to be involved, become more involved in the lives of your children. And then here we are this morning in 2018 speaking about, hey, back off a little bit.
But I'm reading this resource article and I'm seeing them talking about things like swings and, you know, things that animals pass and physical things. But I'm thinking more like, you know, what's happening with the technological world and how those protections manifest as well. Because it's not just a time when you're afraid them drop and bruise them knee. It's about
what they're exposed to on social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then don't that even change the meaning of protection and overprotection?
It does. It kind of changes the landscape. Technology changes the landscape of parenting. But then at the same time, what I'm seeing is that parents aren't allowing their children to experience certain things on their own. And so certain things like even rejection, not being successful at something, falling down, even how to manage dealing with their friends and their peers. Parents aren't allowing children to understand the emotions that come with those failures. And so instead of helping them to regulate their emotions so that they can develop emotional intelligence, what they're developing now is this anxiety and this fear of being rejected or not able to do something. So they're not trusting themselves, low self-esteem, low confidence, and parents don't even realize that they're contributing to it. So as parents, we keep saying, oh, you know, my son or my daughter isn't responsible enough. And then when you look into it and you see the structure of the family, you realize that the parent does every single thing for the child. So the child isn't even able to learn how to be responsible.
Tell me about rejection in a 8-year-old. What manifests as rejection? You go over to your friend's house and then tell you to go home?
Or especially with the girls. And they form their little groups, and you're not a part of the group. Why am I not a part of the group? Why is it that they don't want to play with me? Or even let's go even less than that. Everyone in the class gets invited to a party, and you don't get invited. What's wrong with me? Why am I not invited? Why don't they like me? And so parents should help their children to manage those emotions.
So you say instead of going to the mother and saying, why never invite my child?
Exactly.
You say, babe.
Hey, listen. Not everyone's going to like you.
And that's okay.
There's going to be a lot of people that will like you.
Yeah.
There's going to be some that won't like you. But what's important is that you remain who you are. Right. And who's going to like you, those are the ones that you talk to. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Let's move on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is tough, especially when you think that when you're talking about children or you're dealing from 0 to 18. So the manifestations of the rejection and all these other things are different according to what age
But it's so
group the child
important
is.
to start helping them to manage those emotions and rejection
early.
Yes, because what happens is that when they become adults, when they become teenagers, they're better able to manage their emotions.
Right.
They understand what rejection is without losing their own self-esteem and confidence.
Especially now with social media where folks are their studies tying the advent of social media and the emotion of children in that to more depression and more anxiety because you want to be like what you see on the gram. And oh my gosh. All right, so you have chronic stress and you have acute stress. So chronic stress, they say in kids, comes from things like abuse, neglect, sensory deprivation, excessive worry, regular exposure to violence. Parents here are key.
And so, but what are you asking me? That this is what being a helicopter parent can cause?
Yes, the two types of stress in kids that we help. I mean, I guess we're trying to. I don't know if we're promoting.
Well, no. What we do as parents is we actually project our anxiety on our children without even knowing that we're doing it. So that fear that we have as a helicopter, and I wouldn't say we because I'm not a helicopter mom, but the fear that parents have when they're a helicopter type parent.
And the helicopter is the one who's always hovering.
Always hovering,
right,
always
okay.
involved. You know, it's that anxiety. Oh, you're gonna fall down. No, I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go on the road. I don't want you to stay here at school. So that type of fear, we project it onto our children, and then what happens is that the children become anxious. So they project the same type of fear that their parents is projecting on them.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as they're concerned, they don't trust themselves to do certain things. And as parents, what we're telling them is that you're not capable of doing what your peers are doing. I don't think you're capable of doing it.
But what we're really trying to tell them is we love you so much that we don't want anything to happen
I'm
to
afraid
you.
that something's going to happen to
Yeah.
you. But, you know, again, as parents, we have to look into that for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that fear coming from? And if the fear is overwhelming, then I would suggest parents that they reach out to someone that's professional to get assistance to find out where that fear is coming from, because more than likely it's coming from their childhood.
Wow. So if they say, you know, Doc, I've seen what's going on in society, I'm afraid with the level of crime, that's why I don't want my kid on the road, or you're thinking they might need to talk to somebody?
Well, again, we're talking about an extreme case here.
Okay.
I'm afraid for my children also.
Yeah.
But do I say to my 17-year-old, you know,
go lock up
I
in the
don't
house.
want to, he goes to Campion, I don't want you to walk over to Sovereign for lunch? No. You know, but there is that fear. So what I say, you know, be careful, always be aware, don't walk with your cell phone out, or, you know. So I empower him in order for him to survive on the streets.
Having already taught him from he was young the survival skills.
Exactly. But then again, you know, teaching your children survival skills is one thing. Allowing your children to survive is another.
Yeah.
So you have to actually allow them to have the experience of doing it so that you can actually know that you're actually doing it right.
Yeah.
Or if you need to do something different.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
Hard to take, but good advice.
Yeah,
Thank you very
helicopter
much. No, helicopter? Yes. No. CEO of Phoenix Counseling Center with us this morning, Dr. Patrice Charles, with some great advice. We've got more on Smile after the news. We'll be right back.